Hello and welcome back to Always Right. Today I have a very special guest, Chloe.
Hello.
You sound really good this time.
Good. At least you can hear me this time.
Yeah, exactly. But Chloe, you've been on my podcast before on a very interesting episode where we had like 10,000 people. Do you remember?
Yes. Oh, such a messy episode for sure.
It was. There was no structure and we just like played games. It was kind of a mess. But now you're
It
back. So
was.
how do you feel to be back?
Good. I think this is like the first time I think I've actually been on solo on your podcast.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, I feel it's quite exciting. I'm quite nervous though, but it's exciting. It's a good nervous.
Good, good. I'm glad. But how have you been during the COVID situation?
Oh, lovely COVID. Yeah, not bad. Not much has really changed to me though, because I'm still grateful to still be working and everything. So
Yes,
not
true.
much has changed. Just obviously like the restrictions and
Yeah. Now, don't
all that, but
say.
that doesn't really bother me to be honest.
Oh, yeah. We were talking about this like the other day. How you were like, "Oh,
We
I don't mind
were,
like staying in my house."
yeah. I'm such a homebody. Like it's it's pretty bad.
No, that's not bad. It's kind of good.
Mm.
But like, you are a homebody. But like, we used to go out. You know.
Oh yeah, of course. Like no, like I have my moments where I'm like, yeah, like I'll get out of the house and stuff like that. But like it's kind of good this whole like COVID thing because like now I don't need like an excuse not to go out.
Very true. But do you feel
Yes.
like you're like over it now? Because I'm at the point where I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm over it. Like, I want like human interaction.
Yes. Oh yeah, definitely like it's coming now to a point. It's like how long has it been like now?
Well, we'll see. I don't really know because I was in Spain when it all
That's true.
started. But in Spain, it started on March 13th is when like lockdown things happened. But I think here it was after.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. See,
so
I've totally lost like track of even like when it all started. So I'm just kind of like, oh shit. Like this year has gone really quick as well.
oh my God, I know, which is kind of crazy because I feel like in lockdown time moves slower, but it's like, where has the year gone?
Yeah, like we haven't been doing anything but time. Like we're in September now.
I know it's crazy.
Absolutely crazy. Like we've been doing nothing, but time is just gone. Like yeah, it's bizarre.
It really is. And like, I like go through my Instagram, like my own Instagram, what I've posted, and I'm like, I haven't like really posted anything like interesting since like March. I love how that's my like measure of how interesting my life is whether is whether I post on
So
Instagram.
so pretty much from March it's just gone downhill. It's like nothing.
Pretty pretty much, but it's like I can't like obviously for the first few months of the year when I was still in Spain, I was still doing stuff, but I feel like that was like a different lifetime ago. Like, don't you feel like the beginning of this year was like a different age to like right now?
Yes, like I feel like the beginning of this year like wasn't the beginning of this year. Like I feel
Yeah, I
like
feel like it was last year.
yes, like I feel like this year started in lockdown.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. I agree. It's crazy how that happens.
It's just crazy how like things can happen like in such like a short like amount of time or like it can just like all kind of form into one.
I know it is kind of crazy. Now, don't say where you work. We won't name names, but
No, no, that's fine. We
yes,
we, we don't have to.
but we used to work together,
Yes, we did.
which is how we became friends.
It is.
Isn't that kind of crazy? Because like I don't really think of like that as how we became friends. Like I just think of you as like
No.
my friend.
Yeah, so do I. Like I don't consider you someone I met through work. Like I
No.
feel like we have just been friends like for like we became friends out of work. but
Yeah, because
we
I
met
think
at work.
we've been friends longer outside of work than
Work
we
in
actually
work.
work together.
Because we definitely didn't like we did work together, but like at the same time we were associated more outside of work, I feel. We just
Oh
brought the tea
yeah.
with us to work.
Yeah, no, 100%. But I was gonna ask, do you have any funny or weird stories from when we worked at the same place? I've tried really hard not to say the name.
Oh my gosh, where do we even begin with that place?
Oh my God, I know.
Oh,
I'm
we
just thinking
really got
like of customer interactions.
custom.
So many bad
Oh,
ones.
so many. There's too many to like actually like pin. None of pin like sticking out to me. I'm guessing you've got one.
Well, yeah. Hopefully
Go for it. Tell
it'll
me.
jog your memory so you can
Jog
think of
my
some.
memory.
Um, I remember one time I'm trying to think. I'm
It's
trying to think if I should
it's
say
so
what I was doing because it might give away where we work, but it also like
yeah.
not.
It's so yeah. It's so hard not to like give a description without it being
But also
descriptive.
like if I say I was slicing
Should-
something, I could have worked
Oh, should we just
anywhere.
say like yeah, like let's just make up a business or something.
Okay, think of it.
Let's just say we worked at a like an ice cream shop.
Okay, okay. We were working at the ice cream shop, and this customer, I was making something for this customer that I think most people, if, and I normally would do it too, you lay this thing flat and you don't stack them on top of each other. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, yep.
Yeah, so I guess I specifically remember I was in a mood where I was like, oh, I don't care. And I just let them fall on top of each other. And
Yep.
so I like and this customer watched as I was doing this. And I wrapped it up and I gave it to her. And she was like, after I'd already given it to her, goes, oh, that's not how I wanted it. And I was like, oh, how did you want it? And she was like, I wanted it laid flat. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I can make it for you again. And then she was just like, oh, uh, and she goes, oh, no, don't worry about it. And I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. Like, have a nice day. Like, uh, at the end of my shift,
Yeah.
it's one of the managers comes over to me and is like, oh, this customer said that you didn't like make something the way that she wanted it. And I was like, but she watched me do it and she waited till I was finished. And then when I said,
Finished.
yeah, and then when I said, can I do it again? Can I like fix it for you? She said no.
I really don't get some customers as well. Like they just complain about really like silly things. Like some customers can be quite petty.
Oh, so
And
petty.
it's like
Which
all their basic human like I don't know, it just goes
decency.
out the window. Yeah, decency, that's the word I was looking for. It just goes out the window. Like it's like, dude, like why? When I'm a customer, I feel like when I'm a customer, I'm like not like I don't care. Like they can totally like stuff up like whatever they're doing, and I'll be like, no, it's fine, it's fine. Like, cause you know, I've been there.
100%. I feel the same way. It's like if I think that every like person on earth should have to work customer service like at least once in their life
100%.
because it really
Yeah,
makes you like I could like go into
appreciate.
a store or anything and they could really really like mess it up and I would
Yeah,
just be like, "Oh, it's fine." Like I would never be
yeah,
like, "I'm going to complain to the manager." Never.
yeah. Total Karen moment.
Oh my god, 100%. But do you have any
Uh,
bad customer interactions?
at the place we worked at.
Yeah.
Oh, let me think. Oh, I'm really trying to think.
Or maybe not customer
Oh,
interactions, just bad. I'm thinking of a story that you probably don't want to tell, so I'm not gonna I'm not gonna bring it
Which one?
up. Involving our ex manager,
Mm-hmm.
the one the one who hired me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And do you know what I'm talking? How you and her had?
Yes, and everyone thought she was lovely.
Oh my
Is that
god!
that's the
Yes,
one we're talking about?
yes.
Oh my goodness. So I remember like you even came to me and you're like, "Oh no, like they are so lovely and stuff." And everyone was like, I've worked with this manager before, for
Yes.
those who don't realize. I came from another store and I then came to this store and this manager somehow followed. And I was like, oh, just my luck, just my luck. She already gave me so much hell at the other one, and I kind of escaped it, and I just ended up, it followed me. And everyone was like, oh my gosh, no, like they're so lovely. And I was like, what the hell? And then I'm like, okay, people can change. Like I'll give her the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
And then like I was like, no, she was just doing little things, and I was like, no, like it's slipping, like the niceness is slipping, like guys, it was like you were all like under a spell or something, and I was trying to convince everyone. I'm like, no, like what you guys are blindsided, like don't fall for it. Like I think like it just started happening like one after the other. They were coming to me like, oh my god, Chloe, like you were right. And I was like, see, I told you I was right. I told you I was right. I remember once I didn't come in for a shift because I was just coming back from a holiday,
Ah,
and
yeah.
I had put in my annual leave, and like she then like called I came in the next day because that day like it was still like classified as my annual leave, and I had just gotten home, and I'm like, I'm not rocking up to a 6 a.m. shift.
Yeah.
And the next day I come in and stuff, and I remember in front of like like her management was definitely not up there as well. Like the
No.
way she would go about things was definitely not professional. And I came in and just in front of like all these customers, she tried to like belittle me
Oh god.
and, like tell me and be like, oh, why did you not turn up for your shift, and like stuff like that. And I was like, you guys were right anyway. Because like I knew that she already had like two other people on like in that morning, so I was like, well, you would have been fine anyway. Like I made sure, like, yeah, but that wasn't my fault. And like she just tried to belittle me in front of these customers, and I was just like, I remember saying to her, I think I was like, you may like I put her in her place and stuff, and I said, try not to like take your boss title too much to your head, and like maybe speak to me, like pull me aside, like rather than, and have the decency not in front of customers,
Yeah.
like, oh, like it just, yeah, just it was not a great time, that's for sure. But no, I was at the end I was right.
You are always
I
right.
Yes, I remember once she was actually like saying something, like she was very pedantic with how she would do things as well.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I sound like such a whole hurt person bagging her, but
No,
like
no, no.
it's fine. And I remember she was doing something one way, and then she goes to me, she goes, "Oh, I might be sounding like a total bitch,
This is what I was
saying this."
this interaction is
Yes.
what I was referring
Okay.
to.
Yeah. Yeah. And then she goes, "Oh, I must sound like a total bitch the way I explain things." I'm like, "No, you are a bitch." Straight out to her. Like I was nonchalant at all about it. I was just
Oh,
straight out. I was like, no, that's because you are a bitch.
that that story always makes me laugh. What did she actually say after that?
Huh?
What did she say after
She
that?
she didn't say anything. I think she was taken back that I like threw that at her.
She was in shock.
She was like, I was like, well, I was like, it's the opportunity. Like she's mentioned it, I have to take it. I have
True.
to say it. Like,
Very
no,
true.
no fucks given. Oh, sorry
No.
about profanity. I don't know
No,
if
you can
can swear
swear.
on your.
Just don't
Okay,
say
good.
just don't say like the
Yes,
bad swear word. You know what I
that's
mean?
fine. I got you.
But the store that we worked at, it was in like a good-ish area, but I feel like there were a lot of like bad incidents. Like I don't think you were there, but one time one of our one of the duty managers had a punch on with someone in the store with a customer.
What?
Yeah.
I
And
did.
it
I
was
don't
like,
think I was there.
no, you mustn't have been. It was like right when I think it was like my third or my fourth shift or something. And
Yeah.
I could see at the registers, like I could see them yelling at each other. And then the customer swung at him and then he swung back.
Oh my gosh.
And I was just like, wow. So I guess this is just what happens at this store.
We can just throw hands.
Yeah. But then I moved to a different store.
Yes.
You know that, right? Yeah.
Yes, yes, I do.
Yes. And the second store that I was at was brand new, but in a not amazing area.
Yes.
So there were some very odd,
Interesting.
yeah, interesting customers, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember exactly what happened, but I think someone tried to like break in or something early. And I used to start early in the morning.
Yep.
And you had to wait till like exactly 6 a.m. You know how they do, like when they open.
Yeah. And you're standing outside, like in
Yeah.
like the cold, if it's like cold as well in the dark and stuff, and it's kind of eerie to be honest when you're
It is,
waiting to be let in.
it is very eerie. And I remember they have like doors at like the back, and then they have like a main entrance, and then they have like doors to get into the escalator, which goes like inside the store or whatever. And I was
Oh
going on
wow.
the escalator for some reason because they didn't open the back door. So I was
The
like, I'm
actual
just
door,
gonna,
yeah.
yeah, go through the escalator. And there was like a guy trying to like pry open the doors. And I was like, oh, hi, can I help you? And he goes, I work here, and wasn't wearing a uniform. So I was just like, oh, what department do you work in? Of the
Yeah.
ice cream store. And he said, so he was like, I work in the gelato department. And I was like, oh, okay. I've never seen you around here before.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, whatever. And he was still like trying to pry open the doors. And I was just like,
Mm-hmm.
okay. So then I went back around to like the other door.
The main, yeah.
Yeah, and I got let in, and then I told someone, I was like, oh, "There's a guy like trying to like break in down there." And then I was also like, I actually don't know if he works here, but like he's not wearing a uniform, so I don't know. Like I don't want to accuse him of anything.
Yeah.
And then so I start working, and then someone comes up to me and they're like, "Oh, where did you say the guy was?" And I was like, "Oh, like at the escalator." And they were
Mm-hmm.
like, "Oh, there's no one there." And I was like, "Oh, maybe he like came in the store." Wasn't in the store. So I don't know. He just disappeared. I don't know where he went.
What?
He just disappeared. And I was like, he was trying so hard to get in the doors. I don't know.
Yeah.
And like, it's not, he wasn't deterred by me asking him what he was doing. So it's like, I don't know. I don't know where he went. It's creepy.
Are you sure it wasn't like a figure of your imagination?
Maybe, maybe he was a ghost. They told people and they were like, "Oh, there's no guy there," and I was shook. I was like, "What?"
What? Wait, did it have camera? Did you guys have cameras and stuff that you could
We
check?
do have cameras, but I don't think they checked them. Like it wasn't
Yeah.
that serious because also like that store opened at 6 a.m. and I don't know why. Like the store we worked at opened at 7 a.m., which I think makes
7.
sense. But
Yeah.
when
Which
this
is
store
so
opened
much
at
better.
6 a.m., there were no customers till 7. So
Yeah.
when I told them that he was there, like someone just walked around the store and they were like, "Oh, well, he's not here." So,
Oh my gosh. That's
oh my
crazy.
god, another story. Just
Yes.
this is all just
Isn't
me
it funny?
talking.
No, I love that. I love this. I love this.
At the the new store that I worked at, there was like parking on the roof, which you could like get an elevator to. I was getting in the elevator to go up to the roof, and this woman gets in the elevator with me. We were getting inside the elevator, and this guy walked past, and I wasn't looking at this man. I just whatever. and I could see the woman was like staring at him. So then the
Yeah.
elevator door closes, and we're in the elevator, and I'm like in my uniform because I'm leaving work, obviously. And so she like
Mm.
leans over and she says to me, "Oh, do you know who that was?" And I go, "No."
No.
And
No.
she goes, "Oh, that was Cardinal Pell." Like, you know, Cardinal
Who's that?
Pell, the pedophile?
Really?
Yeah. Do you know who Cardinal Pell is?
No, but yeah. Keep
Basically, he
going.
was like a massive member of the Catholic Church, and he was like a massive pedophile. And it's been like in the news and all this stuff. And
Oh my gosh.
and so at that point, I was like, "Oh, isn't he in jail?" And she goes, "Oh no, I think that's a cover up, and that he's staying with." Do you know that massive? It's called a sissy. It's like a massive aged care place in Heidelberg. You probably don't know it, but it looks like a castle.
No, I have not heard of it.
Oh, okay.
No.
But so basically, she was like, "Oh yeah, it's all a cover up. He never actually went to jail, and he's just staying at a sissy, and so he just comes here." And I said, I said to this woman, I was like, I was trying to be nice. I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, so it's a cover up, and he's not actually in jail. But do you really think they would let him go to a supermarket and just reveal his identity?" And she was like, "Oh, yeah, but you know, he probably doesn't think that anyone knows who he is, but I know who he is. I saw him. I know that he was here." And I go, "Oh, okay." And then we leave the elevator, and I'm like, "Oh my God, please don't walk in the same direction as me, like to our to our cars." And of course she does. Yeah, and then she was like, "Oh, you know, I'm gonna call 3AW, and I'm gonna tell them that Cardinal Pell was here, and then they're gonna go to a sissy, and they're gonna find him, and they're finally gonna bust him." And I was just like, uh, I was like, "Okay, you do you do that." I was just like, no offense, but like, if the government really was like keeping him a secret, I was like, they're not going to reveal his identity by letting him go to a supermarket. Like, would they not get someone else to do that? But I just remember I like got him. I sat in my car and I laughed so hard. I thought it was so funny.
I love how she's just like, I'm gonna go to 3AW. Like that's her first instinct. Like
Yeah,
3AW.
not the
Like, yeah, I'm
police.
just gonna I'm just gonna call 3AW, like, like a good five, like what aren't they on from like really early in the morning?
Yeah,
3AW.
she just
Yeah, I'm
wanted
just
her
gonna call
moment in the
yeah,
spotlight.
gonna call them, talk to them and yep, get my moment on 3AW. Love that. Love that for her.
But yeah, my God. I miss the stories from working, but I don't miss the customer part of it.
No, that's for sure. Like I definitely love like the like excitement and stuff that like work can bring, but yeah, definitely not the customers.
No, not at all. But
No.
do you do you have to wear PPE and all of that at work?
Yes, like we're like full like decked out in like PPE. It's quite bizarre. Like it doesn't really bother me because I'm like, we have to do what we have to do.
Yeah.
But like I catch myself like a reflection of myself and I'm like, oh my gosh, like what?
Do you have to wear
Like
a
full deck.
face shield or just a mask?
No, both.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, we're full. Like we've got the face shield, we've got like the mask. Like they've just implemented we have to wear like a face shield.
Yeah, right.
Um, so
But is
we can
that
wear
going to
that.
be extended like beyond the lockdown, do you think? Like, do you think you'll have to wear that for a long time?
I reckon like probably like the masks we will probably have to wear like past lockdown. I mean, it's kind of common sense, I guess. Like I'd
It
rather
is. Yeah,
wear it
totally.
as well. Um, and it's kind of like also nice when like customers come in or come in and they're also wearing like masks and stuff too. Even though like yeah, it is a hassle for some, but like kind of get over it as well. Like
Oh, yeah.
you're only in there for like a minute or like 5 minutes tops.
Yeah, totally. But have you had customers not wearing a mask and you have to be like, hello?
Yeah, like the thing is, I'm sometimes really oblivious to it as well. Like I was
True.
once dealing with a customer, and I was talking straight directly to them, and I literally did not register until the guard came up to me, because we've got a security guard at my work, came
Yeah.
up to me and like was like to the guy, like, you need to leave. And I'm looking at the guy, I'm like, what has he done? Like, and he's like, he's not, and he's told me, he goes, he's not wearing a mask. And I was like, I literally, like, oh, like, I'm so oblivious. I was like, I didn't register he wasn't wearing one.
Wow. I feel like that would happen a lot. Like, I feel like you have to get in the mindset of like masks.
Yeah, like it happens like quite a lot. Like some people will come in not wearing one, and like we do
I
like
don't get that.
yeah, and we do temperature checks as well. Like it's mandatory, like you to get in, like you need like your temperature check. Like, and it's such like a simple thing, but so many people will refuse it as well. And it's
Oh
kind
my
of
God.
like, like why? Like we had a customer come in the other day and asked us if we did COVID testing because they had symptoms. And I'm like, why
Oh
are you here?
my God.
I was like, why are you here? Like, why?
I just
Get
hate when
out.
people like nonchalantly are like, oh, like I think I have it. And it's like, but they don't take it
Yeah.
seriously and they just like walking around. I'm like, no, you can't do that.
Yes, I completely agree. Like, not if I'm in the same vicinity as you as well. Like, please leave.
See, that's kind of why I'm glad that I like didn't go back to school in Spain. Because when we
Yep.
first like stopped, they were like, I was like on a Thursday and they were just like, oh, we have 2 weeks. We're going to take 2 weeks off and then come back. And then never saw
Mm.
them again, which is sad. But also at the same time, now that I think about it, I'm like, because when it first happened, I was like, oh, this is just going to blow over. Like this coronavirus thing, like it'll be fine. Like everyone,
It'll
we'll just
blow
get
over.
over it.
Yeah.
And then I
Yeah.
was like, I can't imagine being in a room with 20 kids and like I just can't imagine. I just can't
Engaging
imagine
with
doing
them.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Having to engage with them and stuff like that. Like I remember when I came back from holiday,
yeah,
and my first time going back to work, like I was kind of like I was really nervous, and to say that, like I was really like nervous, and like I was like, oh, like it should be fine and stuff like that. But it wasn't until I walked in and I seen like everyone had like masks on and stuff like that, it kind of really hit me. Like
yeah. Right. Wait. So what month did you get back? Actually, tell us about
I
your whole traveling experience.
my whole traveling experience. So my traveling experience was cut short,
Yeah,
because like I was in LA at the time, and what is it? What is he there?
the
Is he like
president
the not so much the president, like
or the governor?
prime, like yeah, governor, prime minister thing of like LA is like, nah, we're shutting it down, and he was like, nah, full bang slam shut. As of
Hmm.
tonight, everything's closing, and everything was closing, and I still had like I can't remember how exactly long we still had, but it was still a fair like amount of time we had left, and I was like, nah, like
Yeah,
I'm going home, like I'm going home. There's no point. And I was speaking to people in like our hotel,
yeah,
and they were from Australia as well. And they're like, nah, like I've like paid like to stay like for a certain time. I'm just gonna like, wait it out and stuff like that. I'm like, what for? Like, what are you waiting for? Like, everything's closed. Like, there's nothing to do. Like, you're practically just going to be sitting how we are now in the lobby of our hotel,
yeah,
passing time. I was like, if I'm going home and I'm gonna do this, like I,
yeah. I
I
agree.
don't
It's
get
like if you even if you've paid for something, but if you know that you can't experience it and you're going to be trapped in your hotel or whatever, just go home. Like,
exactly.
there's no
Yeah.
point.
Why would you? It really baffles me, some people's like minds. Like, why would you want to like stay there and just like literally like twiddle your thumbs like in the lobby and stuff? Like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Wait, so
Like,
what
nah.
month was this in
This is in
April?
March,
March, right.
and towards the end of March.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, towards the end of March, and I was like, nah, like Nah. And so like yeah, I ended up like calling like and booking like a flight home and stuff. And then because I got home just before the 2 weeks quarantine started in the
Oh,
hotels.
right.
Yeah,
But did
so
you have to quarantine at home?
at home. I
Yeah.
had to quarantine at home for 2 weeks, but I'm kind of like, you had to do the hotel, didn't you?
Yeah. Yep.
How was that? Like,
Um.
should we compare like quarantining at home and the hotel?
Oh yeah, I love that. It was okay. I feel like people I like watch stories on Facebook and people are like banging on the doors, screaming like "Let me out!" I'm like, it's not that bad. People act like it's
Yeah,
prison.
yeah,
Like it
it's
sucks.
probably not.
The fresh air
Yeah,
part is the worst part. Like
the
if
fact that you can't crack open a window.
yeah, if I had a
Yeah,
window, I would have been
you'd be fine.
fine. But I feel like
Yeah,
towards the end, it was really like I need to get out of here. And then
yeah.
eventually, like, because we had to get, or we didn't have to get tested, but they offer testing on like the 5th and 11th day of the 14
hmm
day quarantine.
Yeah.
Um,
Is it mandatory that you have to get tested
no,
while
no,
you're in
it's not
okay, yeah.
mandatory. But they were like, oh, like you might as well, like we're just gonna give you the test if you want. And I was like, yeah, I'll
Yeah.
just do it. So I took it on the 5th day. And then they were like, oh, you'll get the results back in 2 days. And then after that, you
hmm
can go outside for like 15 minutes every day
Oh, perfect.
after that.
Yeah.
Um, which was good. I was like, okay, so then I was negative, and then I got to go out for 15 minutes every day.
Fresh air out into
Yeah.
the wild.
Yeah, but it was just like the parking lot of the of the hotel.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But
I
how did
guess
you
so, yeah.
feel at
It's kind of
home?
at home. Well, like I was comfortable because like I was at home.
Yeah.
I could crack a window, had that privilege there.
Yeah, but did you
Yeah,
did you stay in your room the whole time? Or I mean, obviously you have to go to the bathroom and stuff, but I mean like primarily in your room?
um kind of just like went through the entire house to be honest. Because like I was like to my like parents and stuff, I'm like I'll stay like in my room and stuff like that. But my dad, he was just like, no, it's fine. Like he'd come into my room and I'm like, oh well, there goes that. Like, it sounds so bad. Like, and I like that's really terrible. Like to say like, like but that's how he was, and I was
No,
like,
but
oh
I think
no.
it's hard if you're in the same house as people who are quarantined
Yeah,
and they get it, like you're probably going to get it too. So it's kind of just like you might as well just,
exactly.
like I
Um,
don't really know how, like if you have to share a bathroom with someone, like for people who only have like one bath,
yeah,
do you only have one bathroom in your house or two?
only one bathroom.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
see, there's no way that, you know,
exactly. It's not like I'm gonna do like a full deep clean every time like I was going in
no,
there.
no. So yeah,
So
you might as well
I'm
just be like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. And it's not like my parents were also going like elsewhere, like
Yeah, well, that's fine
in
then.
regards in regards to that. I think my dad had taken off time anyway. And
Yeah, no, that's fine then, I think. But
yeah,
I
just so your
think,
listeners don't like roast
yes,
me or
no, we
anything.
know, we know
Yeah.
you're not a bad
No.
person.
Yes. Thank you.
But
I'm not bad, I promise.
the hotel stuff, like I keep like I think about it sometimes, and I just like sat in bed all day and watched Netflix, which is like no different than what I do at home. But it's
Yeah.
like at least here I can like go outside. I can like lay on the grass and I think it
Yeah.
was bearable for me because like it rained like every day that I was in there, and I was like, oh well, don't really need to go outside when it's raining anyway.
Yeah, if it's raining and stuff, it's like, don't really have
But
to
I
go
just
outside.
the food part was the worst.
Oh, how was that for you? Like, did they get your like, because like obviously like vegetarian, right?
Yes, vegetarian. Well,
Yes. How
I'll
did they
run
go
you
with that?
through the whole experience from landing
hmm
to getting to the hotel because it was quite the
Yeah.
experience.
Tell me.
So basically, on the plane, I had to wear, they give you a bag that has like a bunch of masks in it, and they're like every 2 hours you
Yep.
need to change the mask. Um,
Yes.
Did you have to do that for your flight or no?
No, we didn't have to wear a mask, but I was like, I'm gonna wear one.
Yeah, yeah, smart. So then
Yeah.
we did that, and then also there were like you could sit in every second seat, so there was like a gap in between everyone.
Yeah.
And then they offloaded the plane from the front to the back,
Mm-hmm.
and my roommate from Spain was with me, but she was like in a few rows in front of me.
Back. Okay, yeah.
So no, she was in front of me. So then when they were offloading the plane, like that was like the last time that I saw her. Like I didn't see her again because
Yes.
she also
Ser-
she lives in Sydney. So it's like, well, bye. Like I
Nice knowing ya.
yeah, nice knowing
Laters.
you. And
Spain
then
was great. I'll see you later.
yeah. So then we're like getting off the plane and they are really like staggering how many people go off, and like they only let one person at a time like go through, and then we had to go through customs one at a time, and then you go to baggage claim one at a time, and you have to go through, they did like 2 temperature checks, and you have to fill out a questionnaire and like stuff for the hotel. They're like, do you have any
Yeah.
dietary stuff, which is where I said vegetarian or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're like waiting to get on a bus to get to the hotel. Actually, and the airport gave us like a bunch of food. Like they gave us these little packs of chocolate and like muffins and stuff, which I
Cute.
was like, that's really nice. Like I love that.
Very nice.
And then yes, they're waiting for us to get on the bus, and they have 2 buses. So then I get on the bus and I go to the back, and then I look over and I could see Eloise like sitting on the other bus, and I'm like waving at her and like sending her a Snapchat that she doesn't see. I was like, okay, so now is the last time I'm ever gonna see you, probably.
Yeah.
And then yeah, we get on the bus and then go. I stayed at Pan Pacific. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but oops. Um,
Oop.
so
You can
then
always cut it out.
yeah, I could always cut it out, whatever. So then we go to the hotel and we're waiting like outside, and we're waiting in the bus outside the hotel for 45 minutes.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And I had to go to the bathroom, and I was like, I'm over this. And then we keep asking the driver like, what's happening? Why aren't we going in? And we assume that like there was a bunch of other people like ahead of us who were like going into the hotel or whatever.
Yeah.
And then a guy comes out and he's like, yeah, someone in quarantine pulled the fire alarm and tried to escape.
Oh my gosh.
And they were like, yes, we were like trying to get everyone back in their room and like trying to get it all. And I was like, oh, that's a good omen.
Oh, love that for me.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
no,
okay, great.
as soon as I need to go to the bathroom, like it's game over. Like that's the only thing I can, like, I tunnel vision that. Like I'm like, nah, I've got to go. Like I've got to go.
Oh my God, I know, same. So then
Any
they do like the
go.
normal check-in stuff and whatever, and then I like get to my room, and I think I got to my room at like 10 p.m. and I was like,
Mhm.
oh, okay, they're not gonna like give us dinner today because it's like 10 p.m. I'm like lying in bed and I hear a knock on the door, and then I go to the door, and like they would knock on the door and just leave food like outside your door,
Yeah.
and there was a bag there and it had like all this food in it, and I was like, oh, okay, it's like 10 p.m. though. The annoying part was like didn't have a microwave or any type of nothing to cook. I had a kettle and that was it, and I had a little mini.
Yeah.
So I could like save the food if I wasn't hungry, but I couldn't reheat it. So it's like,
Reheat it.
yeah. So I was like, oh, I don't really know if I'm going to be doing that. But then, yeah, we got breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day. The food was not amazing. Like it obviously all was like bulk made and then just like cut up and given to everyone in the hotel, which I
Everyone.
understand, but like it
Yeah.
doesn't make it taste good.
No, for sure. At least like, yeah. Could you order like food
Oh
if
yeah,
you
I
wanted
got
to?
Uber
Or
Eats like a million times because in the beginning I
oh,
didn't know
yeah.
that you could do that,
If you
and
could do
then
that, yeah.
eventually I was like, oh yeah, so I got Uber Eats like I think
Oh
in the
yeah.
second week
That's
almost every day. I was like, oh, I
every
don't really
day.
care.
Yeah. You're like, nah. I'm over this food.
I was like, I
I'm
need some
getting
like new
Uber
and
Eats.
interest. Like I got schnitz like almost every day. I was like, I need
Oh,
some good tasty
lovely.
food.
Yeah, it needs something to get through. Like,
And then and then when it was finished, they obviously like staggered people coming out. The government or whatever paid for our taxi home, which I think is like, I
mhm.
think it's really cool how if you like think of other countries who they would not do any of this. Like the government would
No.
pay for your taxi, they wouldn't give you 3 meals a day for 2 weeks. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. No, like they didn't. Yeah, they didn't have to do any of that. Like they could have just like literally like let you out and been like, okay, like
Yeah. But I think now they're making people pay for it,
good
which I
luck
understand because
on
like
your way.
yeah, I was like, I think
Yeah.
I read that Australia is in a recession now, so I was like, I'm like, I get that they need people to pay for it, so that's fine. But no, what I was going to say
Yeah.
is that when I was leaving the hotel, I saw Eloise, like two people in front of me, like getting into her taxi. And I
Yep.
again waved at her, sent her a message, but she didn't see it. And I was like, oh, that's probably the last time I'm going to see you for a while.
Is this the one who lives in Sydney?
Yes, the one who lives in
Yeah.
Sydney. She's been on my
Oh,
podcast.
so she was quarantining in Melbourne,
Yeah, because she couldn't get a flight
flight
to
back to
Sydney.
Sydney.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh wow. At least like she had something exciting. Like she wasn't quarantining in Sydney. She was quarantining here.
Yeah, true. But also when I was in the hotel, I was like, I could be in a hotel in like any country in the world right now. Like I wouldn't know. You know what I mean?
That's true. Yeah. That's true. Because I guess like it's just the room of the hotel. So yeah.
It was quite the experience.
Yeah, it would at least you've got that now to like tell for like the future and stuff.
Oh yeah,
Like
always got a good story.
quarantined. Yes, like I was actually discussing with someone, but it was just before we went into like I think like stage 4 lockdown, like with all the
Yeah.
like extra restrictions and stuff like that. And I was like, I can't, like, some people are going to be like, why would you want this? And I kind of want to go into stage 4 because how often can you say like, oh, I've been in a lockdown?
Yeah, true.
I was like, oh, kind of want. Sounds so terrible, but I was like, kind of want it to happen just
No,
so I
that's
can
not terrible because
experience
also
it.
like that's the best thing to do in a
To do,
pandemic.
yeah.
Like,
But but I was like, how often can you say like, oh, I was in like a lockdown?
yeah. See, because I was in lockdown in Spain,
So
and then I
yeah,
get
you experienced more of a lockdown, yeah.
yeah, and then when I get back here, and I think when I got here, it was stage 3, but it like lifted, and then however long after that, they announced stage 3 again, and then stage 4 again, and I was like, oh my god, I'm over it.
I feel like there's been so many stages I don't like know what was even acceptable or what even happened in the stages prior to this one.
Oh, 100%. Like everyone
It's
just
all
loses
kind of
track
just
of
like
time.
yes, it's just kind of like this whole quarantining, this whole lockdown, this whole thing, pandemic. It's just kind of all like mushed into like one, and it is what it is now. Like I
Yeah,
don't remember.
yeah, totally. A random question I was going to ask
Quite
you to
bizarre.
end the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever think about what it would be like to be the opposite gender?
Oh yes. Oh, actually, yes, I do.
Interesting.
I do think of that. Like it's so weird. Like I always think sometimes, like what if I was a the opposite gender? I was like, oh, what would it be like?
I think about it often too, but I'm like,
Mm.
I think about how difficult it would be. Like, I don't think men realize how hard it is to be a woman sometimes.
Oh yeah.
I mean, not that I
D-
know, but I'm just saying, like, I think I have, maybe because, like, I grew up in, like, a house of females and, like, I have a lot of female
Females.
friends. I feel like I like, listen to them and I'm like, wow, that sucks.
Yes. Oh, it's definitely look. It is like just being a person in general can be quite difficult.
Yes,
But
that's true.
I wonder what it's so vague. But I think like, what would I look like if I was the opposite gender?
Interesting. But would you
Yeah.
want to be like a male version of yourself, or would you want to be just a a different person altogether?
Oh, I think I'd like to be a male version of myself.
Interesting. I wouldn't. I would want to be a different female. Like I don't want to. I think I would be ugly as a female.
Like, look, I I just pass as a female.
Oh my
But
god.
I'm a pathetic excuse now.
No.
But I don't know. But then like a lot of people say like I'm the female version of like my dad. So I look at my dad and I'm like, is that what I would
Oh.
look like as a male? Like I don't know. Like I don't know how I feel about that. So I think another thing that I think of when it comes to the opposite sex, like
Yeah.
gender, I think like here I am back on the bathroom situation. Okay, my bladder is the worst. I
Hmm.
pee a lot. Sorry for too much TMI for
No, I
those
love it.
listening, but like I pee so much. I think like it's easier for
Well, see, it's funny you say that. I also pee a lot, like a lot, a
yeah,
lot. But in terms of, you know, down there,
yep,
obviously it's easier as a man.
yes.
I love
It
how
is.
how
No,
how vague
I
I
feel
am, but you, like, yeah, you know what I mean.
it's so easy. No, but I feel like you guys have more like opportunity, like you can go wherever pretty much. Like not that we
But
can't
also,
either, because I
females
mean,
can do that too.
yeah, that's true. I was gonna say a woman can do anything a man can do.
Oh,
Ladies who are listening,
yes, girl power.
yes,
But I was just gonna say, I think about how, like, as a man, I don't ever, if I'm like walking down the street at night, I don't ever think about, oh, like this might be dangerous or this might
this,
be a bad situation. And then I'm like, if I was a woman, I probably would think about it. Like I would have to think about it.
yeah, we're definitely on like alert, like 24/7.
Yeah, see, that's scary. I wouldn't want to
Yeah,
live like
it's
that.
quite
But do you,
exhausting as well.
oh, I can imagine. But do you feel that way? Like if you are alone at night walking down a street or something?
Yeah, like it definitely crosses my mind. Like I feel like I have to be like more observant. And for someone who like I am observant, but I'm also very not observant as well. Like I'm not
Yeah.
really I like someone can be standing right next to me or across from me and I'm like I don't even recognize them. Like, and I can completely know them as well. And they can be like waving and everything. And I'm just so not observant to it. But I feel
Yeah.
like I have to like lock in every sense and be like, oh, like I've got to like analyze my entire surroundings because yeah, and it's quite tiring. Like I just want to walk down the street and not have to worry.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think like definitely like being like for you like that would it's much easier.
Yeah, totally. It's not even something that I like that I think about.
Mm, yeah.
But yeah, also if I was, I don't know, I just also think like appearance wise. Oh, no, that's not true. I was gonna say I feel like females have to like they feel a pressure to put in more effort to like look presentable.
I think it's just with unrealistic beauty standards and stuff and just like what is formed in the media at this like
Totally.
in 2020 and because like we're like subjected to so many things like online like social media can be like it can be both good and bad for for an individual and I think like that's where like all the pressure comes from because there's certain like idealistic beauty standards like that we've got in society and I feel like that's where the pressure that comes from like can even be for men as well like
Oh yeah,
but
a
for
hundred
women
percent.
like yeah I
But in
think that's
terms
where
of
like
like in makeup and stuff,
mm,
but you don't, do you wear makeup like just on the reg?
no
Yeah,
actually
see,
don't
but do you feel like a pressure to, or you don't care?
personally I don't care but that's just me like some people feel like they can't leave their house without makeup
Yeah.
because they're just not confident enough or something like or they just don't like the way that they look or they just do it for themselves like it's just a little confidence booster but personally no I don't really wear makeup like I'll if I have a blemish like I'll cover it up
Yeah.
but at the moment I'm just like nah don't care because mask what is it mask me
Yes.
mask it's a thing and I'm like nah but yeah no I've definitely been one of those girls like I don't really wear makeup unless like I'm like got an event I've got to go to I'll like put it on but I'm putting it on for me like you know yeah
That's good. That's the way it should be. But I just think it's
yes
interesting how like the like beauty standards between men and women so different. Like women have there's so
Definitely.
much pressure to do so much with men. I mean, there is still pressure, but it's nowhere near the level that women have to deal with.
No, that's for sure. And I think sometimes like I don't want to like sound like I don't know how I'm going to say. I think sometimes a lot of those pressures can come from men as well.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
100%. Yeah.
yeah, like yeah. But I don't know. I think you do you like you need to do what's best for you, what makes you happy, what makes you confident. And at the end of the day, like who gives a fuck what anyone thinks?
I agree. You have to live life for yourself.
Exactly. It's taken me a long time to also like realize that as well. Like you have to do what's best for you, live life for you. You know what? Fuck it. Just do you.
I love that advice. And on that note, this episode is finished. I think it's a good way to end it.
Yeah, exactly. A little positive ending.
We love positivity, but
Love that.
you don't like people to follow your social media, do you? Because I usually plug people, but
You can plug me if you want. I don't really use it, but you can.
what is your Instagram? At Chloe Buckler?
Yeah.
My Instagram and Twitter is at Charlie Wright with two R's in Charlie. And also, I made an Instagram for the podcast, which is at Always Right Podcast. So if you follow there, I make a post every time I post an episode so you can stay up to date. But Chloe, thank you so much for joining me. What? Say that again?
I said thank you for having me.
Oh, always. You're always welcome on. Until next time, bye everyone.
Bye.